Hey guys and girls, it's Randy again, putting in some overtime here down in the den. As I was rudely cut off from my last video, my phone's going through a little bit of issues, we'll say. Glad you didn't catch the end of that one because it wasn't much sound for the ears, we'll say. It was pretty violent. But anyways, my tip for today is actually fixing your tips and putting new tips on old tips. Say your favorite screwdriver, or always happens to be one of your Torx bits that you always use or something. The tips end up just getting hammered on them. And this one is definite. This is a little Allen. If you can see, the tip of it is pretty much rounded. And a little trick I found is what I got here for fixing these is finding something harder than the hardened steel at the end of most tips on decent tools to good tools. Cheap tools are going to have cheaper tips. And when you're done with this process, in fact, once you get your tip just how you want it, you can go back through and re-harden it and everything else if you want. I found it works pretty good. Doing a double quench, that seems to be about the best. Usually I don't have time to do it. I just retip it and then when it's ready again. But the key to it is this little guy here. And this little guy, it's a 2-inch wheel. It came in a pack of 10. I got them about a year and a half ago for $5. And the key to them is they're just a simple little disc, but comes with a little arbor, 1/8-inch arbor on it. The whole key is they just take an adhesive and they sprinkle on diamond dust, believe it or not. And you think, oh, well, that ain't going to work any good. The diamond dust is just going to rub right off because the adhesive's no good and the diamond will be gone anyway. Well, I took a swing at it and a chance, and I'll tell you, I've been using these quite a bit. I even have the smaller sized ones. I think they're like 5/8, 3/4 inch hanging here somewhere. I'll find it in a minute. But anyways, these things are just slick, and I found almost the key to them is to just keep a little bit of oil on them. I got a little oil dispenser here that I just pop a little bit on just to keep it. I just don't want it to be burning off like dust. If you're burning a bunch of dust off, making a bunch of dust, you probably are a little too dry. So that seems to be the key, and they last quite a long time. I think I've used up maybe one, and it's still got life. It's just when you got a whole stack of new ones sitting behind it, it's hard to keep fighting through that last one, you know. And the other trick with these, believe it or not, they'll cut glass, and they will cut some serious glass. It wasn't quite, but it was almost about a 1/4 inch thick glass I had to cut, and I figured there was no shot. Well, I took a 2-liter, empty 2-liter, filled it with water, popped a little nail hole on the side of it, and dumped it so that the water just stayed out in front of me. And I just moved it along with my foot as I ran this through the glass, and I could not believe it. Within about a minute and a half, I cut almost, it was like 20 inches. Is all the cut I needed to make, and the stuff was almost 1/4 inch. It was all etched and bubbly on one side, real hard glass. But I got my little setup here on a Dremel, and I just run it over here. I got a little foot pedal from an old from an old sewing machine, and I just got it wired up. So you wah. Well, basically, you just take the tip and you just get your speed up. Nice and going. Again, I'll try to get it up here so you guys can take a look at it. And just buzz it off. Try to be nice and square with it. Get your speed up first. And just take it right to it. Whoop, let me get my glasses on. I'm going to actually put my Gurkles on, which are my Geeky Gurkles glasses. And I use these because they got, I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but they got that pretty sweet little magnification lens in them. And I find that's a key too. If you can really magnify it, then you can really do yourself a nice tip. And like a screwdriver like this, there's actually two different angles that they put on a typical PH2 size. I know this is a smaller one, but I'm just going to retip that for you guys quick. Just to the more precise you can see is the better job you're going to do, you know, the way I figure it. So let's just buzz this quick. Just giving it a little turn as I go. And it's unbelievable how fast it goes. You can actually almost see it slowly taking the end down. And that's a little bit better. I don't know how well. Hopefully you guys can see that. That might be good. I'm not sure. I am not going to touch it up on the sides with this because it actually takes too much. I'm going to hit that with the file later. Now I got my screwdriver here, and you can see the end of it is getting a little bit chewed up. I know some guys have their favorite screwdriver, and actually it's a shame when your tip gets wore out. The screwdrivers are a little different though. I actually like to go along the grooves. I go along the inside and outside of each groove and just touch it. Again, I want to get it right up close to my face so I can see it with glasses on, and just buzz inside and outside. I won't have to touch this one much. Not bad. It's actually only bad on the end. Just knocks down any burrs that are... Doing this, you'll find that when you put your screwdriver into the screw, you'll notice it'll seat a lot better, and you'll get a lot better grasp on the screw that you're trying to get. Now, one like this, I like to actually mark where I start. I mark the top. That way I know right where I'm at. And it stops me from getting out of whack and doing one side more than the other. And I just do it real quick. Again, I've just hurried along just so I don't keep you guys all night. Short and sweet, this one's going to be. And now I got, if you can see, a nice point to it. And I'm actually, just to show you guys that you don't need to always have to have a Dremel. You can just use your cordless drill here and run it through that way. And I'm just going to run at a different angle, a sharper angle. I'm just going to run the tip as long as I can get it to fit in my fingers here good. And otherwise that tip it bottoms out and you don't get all the contact that you want when you're in the head of a screw. So I want to get up close. You'll see that the angle here, I'm going to go about this angle, and I'm just going to go around it once real quick. There, that takes that point right down. And boy, I tell you the difference that'll make. Here's actually some Torx bits. I think someone gave me this one, and then here's the another one that's actually, you can see it's about down to nothing there. And even fixing one like this that you're out of, your shaft is actually run out, you can technically, if you want to keep going with it, it would work with a smaller bit, but just to show you what's going on here, I'll get in the groove there and start in the groove, and I'll just work my way back on it. Might be hard with this bent bit. I bent this bit. It's nothing, yeah, a little tough with it bent. But you can see it's still going. And that's the thing, you could just jam your finger in there. It don't hurt at all, you know. It does absolutely nothing. But here, then just run them all back. And you can basically retip a dead tool too, or if it's broke off. And then lastly, I got just a broken off flathead here, just to show you guys one last time. And pretty much is what you want to do. You want to keep the same angle as what you had. And because the tip is now bowing out like this as it heads back into the shaft here, you got to actually shave into that. So we'll do some side shaving first. Buzz it. You'll see how fast it buzzes it right down. But hopefully I can save some of you guys some money and some time, and maybe keep your favorite tool around a little bit longer. You'll come to find out that my favorite thing in the den here, in Randy's den, is to make things last longer and get your money's worth out of them and saving money, because that's getting harder and harder to do nowadays. As you can see, it still needs some touch-up work, but you get the point. Little TLC on it. And, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go a little bit more on this one. And that's about the tip for the day there. I'm actually going to give you a bonus tip real quick. This will be a real quick tip. These things, you get your test leads, and I've heard a bunch of people already, they cannot stand these caps. The caps that come over it to make it a category 2 or cat 3, and they just bump up the cat rating just because only that little bit of tip is showing when you're using your test leads. Well, I've had the problem of when I'm trying to do testing inside a little tiny board, and you need a pin. Basically, you need pin needle tips. So I actually have 2 needles right here, and is what I do, and it works really well, is I set the needle down inside and just push it right up through. The hardest part's getting this to center. Once you get it centered, come on, get home, get in your home. Now you can see it centered, and now you got test lead. I'll put that in continuity too, so you guys get to hear it bleeping, so you know that it's working. If it's bleeping, it's working. Actually, I need pins that are just a little longer so they'll fit down inside here and then stick out the end, but this is just something I just wanted to shoot out there quick. But basically, whoop, one more. Hopefully you guys can hear this. You see how quick that is? So you still get your good continuity test and everything. Alright, well, that's the 2 tips, 2 for 1 bonus tonight. So, well, I will let you guys go. I hope that's helped someone get out of a jam, or save you guys some time, or your favorite tool for at least a little longer, till you buy a real gem, right? Again, guys, if you think I deserve it, shoot me a thumb up or down, whatever. Or if you don't like it, even leave me a comment. Let me know what you think I could do better. Always up for suggestions. Just getting started at here, so whatever I can do to improve, I'll listen. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks again, bud.